What is going on in Chicago? On Father's Day weekend, 71 people were popped. 9 people lost their lives in a 3-day span from Friday to Monday. My co-host Alonzo and I discussed this recently on our live show. I'm going to play a clip and give you my thoughts on what the heck is going on in Chicago. Unfortunately, Chicago had a bad weekend, man. 71 people were shot, 9 people killed in Chicago over the Father's Day weekend, ranging from ages 13 to 57. Surprisingly, that's down from previous years. Just 2 years ago, over 100 people were hit, and something like 13 or 14 lost their lives. So technically, it's down in Chicago this year, but still, come on, 70 something people hit, 9 people losing their lives. That is unacceptable, Chicago. Now here's a news clip, Lonzo. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to play it for you and the audience. I'm going to play the entire thing because there's several layers with this that I want to dissect with you. So here it is, a news story on Chicago. 71 people shot, 9 fatally.
The weekend ranging in age from 13 to 57, representing various parts of the city, and the violence has some seeking new solutions.
In South Lawndale, residents meeting with police following a staggering number of weekend shootings.
Father's Day is the most violent day citywide, all year round.
She said Father's Day is the most violent day citywide all year round. I wonder why that is. Let's keep it pushing.
More than 70 people shot across the city, 9 of them killed from Friday evening to Monday morning.
70 people being shot is 70 too many. The fact is, we've got work to do. While we're making progress, we've got so much more to do.
At least 24 people were shot during a 5-hour period from midnight to 5 a.m. Monday. 5 of them in West Humboldt Park, after a large crowd had gathered at a gas station. The gunfire sending people running in a moment of chaos captured by surveillance cameras. About an hour later, 7 people shot in a barrage of gunfire near 62nd and Winchester in West Englewood.
It was a whole lot of them, I know that. It was bang, 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 bang. And then there was some more.
Nearby, Alderman David Moore fed up. He says Friday night he started camping out on 73rd Place between...
So this guy right here camps out in his car in his neighborhood, and he documents the dealing that are going on, an open drug market that are going on right in his city. And he was going live on Facebook, and he was caught in the middle of some fire.
Ada and Racine, a block he describes as an open-air drug market. His stay, which he chronicled on Facebook Live, interrupted Saturday night by nearby fire.
Nobody have a problem, bro.
Wow, that's a switch.
Moore says no one was hit.
You hear all those shots? Did you hear that? That's not no regular pistol. That's not no regular automatic. They're adding switches to these weapons, and that is how they are allowed to let off 50, 100 shots in a span of less than a minute. That is scary.
We got to uncuff the hands of the police. We can't take the tools away from CPD, and I encourage this administration not to.
CPD, their hands are tied right now. LAPD, their hands are tied right now. They are not allowed to do their job. Did you know if someone flees now in Chicago, if they run from the cops aren't allowed to chase them? Like, are we living in the Twilight Zone? What the heck is going on here? Someone flees from commits a crime, flees from the cops, and they are not allowed, the police are not allowed to chase them. That makes absolutely no sense. But let's continue.
That's the bottom line.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there, Lonzo. Let's break this down because there's a few layers that I want to discuss with you. But according to Chicago authorities, for whatever reason, Father's Day is the most violent day of the year. Why do you think that is, man? I mean, let's break it down a little bit. Is it the summertime heating up? Like, why do you think Father's Day just sets everything off?
No fathers in the home, man.
Oh, yeah.
No fathers in the home.
7 out of 10 black kids are living in a house right now with no father. I'm going to keep dropping that static until you guys get tired of it. 7 out of 10 black children right now are living in a home out of wedlock. Y'all women really need to stop spreading your legs for any Tom, Dick, and Harry or any Tyrone, Jaquimini, and Xavier. Y'all really need to stop doing that. Stop opening your leg. If a dude has tattoos on his neck, if he has a teardrop on his eye, if he has more than 2 baby mamas, do not open your legs for him, because he's going to bounce. And what does that do? That leads to more crime in our community, period. Black fathers not being in the home is the number one problem in our community. And until we recognize that and accept that, things like this are going to keep happening. 71 people are going to keep getting hit every weekend in Chicago until we as black people understand, realize, and accept the fact that the number one problem in our community is black fathers leaving.
If you have fathers in the home, you would have guidance. Somebody would tell you that the game you playing, you can't win.
Message.
You got folks out there that never been taught to fight, never been taught to do anything with their hands, and they resolve everything with, as my partner called it, bitch-made emotions.
Message.
They don't have nobody giving them no balance. They think everything is, if it don't go their way, I got to shoot you. Message. I can't whoop you, so I'm going to shoot you. I never learned how to fight, so I'm going to solve all my problems with a gun.
Message.
And Chicago sits right next to Indiana. And Chicago itself is a small town, a small city in Illinois. So therefore...
So the truth is Chicago, and I know he misspoke there, but Chicago is one of the biggest cities in the country. I think it's number 2 or 3, right? Next to LA, New York, then it's Chicago. As far as they are a big city, but where this crime and where all this is happening is a small section of Chicago, because Chicago is a big city, and for the most part Chicago is a beautiful city. I visited Chicago 2 years ago. I spent a few days there and I absolutely loved it. It is a beautiful city for the most part, but I knew where to stay away from. I did not go to any O blocks or any 63rds or any 64s. I didn't go to any of those, because that's where it's happening. It's happening in a very small section in Chicago. 98% of Chicago is good, and this stuff doesn't happen. It is unfortunately in a small area.
You surrounded by hunters, and the gun laws in Illinois. In Indiana. They're one thing in Indiana, and there's something else in the city. But the Illinois itself got another set of gun laws. So you have that type of easy access, and once you turn 21, you can get you can get a pistol in most cases. In some cases, you can get a handgun legally.
Most of the crime that is being committed, most of these shootings are being committed with weapons that were not sold legally. They were sold on the black market. They had attachments added to them, i.e. switches that let off 40, 50, 60 shots in 30 seconds. So most of the criminals out there, they're not abiding by any gun laws, because the truth is Chicago has some of the most strictest gun laws in this country. Period. Literally, look it up. They have the most strictest gun laws in this country. But these guys, criminals, don't pay attention to the law.
And you can carry. So you got, and then there's nobody giving any kind of guidance on how to conduct yourself as a man.
Message,
dude. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, something else that was mentioned in the video that I would love your thoughts on. There's about 3 or 4 things if we break this down a little bit, but a lot of Chicago residents are feeling like police aren't allowed to do their job due to restrictions that are put upon them. Don't chase suspects who flee, things like that. It's getting a lot of upset residents. What do you think about that aspect of things? Where
you know what?
Today we're going to be trying the Dave's Hot Chicken Bites. These are basically a tender, which is just sliced up into nugget form.
That aspect is
things like that. It's getting a lot of upset residents. What do you think about that aspect of things? Where
you know what? That aspect is a problem I see here in California as well, man. Cops have been handcuffed in so many different ways. It makes it hard to them do their job. You're so concerned about the criminal and them getting hurt. And here again, they get the criminals if they do something, if they run and hurt somebody, that's another problem. Everybody's afraid to get sued. I understand that, but on the same token, you give the criminals so much leeway to do what they want to do, and then you want the cops to do their job, but you tell, I like tell somebody to swim upstream, tie their hands and their legs, and tell them to go swimming, and you wonder why they can't go nowhere.
You gotta let the police do their job. It irked me, it drove me nuts 4 years ago in 2020 when everyone was talking about defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. That was driving me nuts. I was sitting back thinking, do you idiots, for lack of better words, realize what you're saying when you say defund the police? You're giving criminals the upper hand. It is no surprise that right now, crime and things like that are much higher than they were just a few short years ago because of this whole defund the police movement that a lot of you ding-dongs were following and supporting. You know who didn't want to defund the police? People who lived in the areas where crime is the most. It was a bunch of N-words that wanted to defund the police, and a bunch of people who don't understand that when you defund the police, crime goes up, period.
You know, the criminals don't have no boundaries. They do whatever they want to. They have no restrictions, no rules, whatever, to get away at all costs. If it means barreling through the intersection at 100 miles an hour and run over some pedestrians, so be it. Okay, they don't care. But, you know, it's just like I said before, you see the same situation in LA. Folk cops are, you know, a cop told me if they pull somebody over and the car is stolen, they got to give them a ticket and let them go.
Did you hear that? Yes, that is happening in California where I'm sitting right now. If they pull someone over and the car is stolen, they give them a freaking ticket. A ticket! What the hell is going on in this country?
What the fuck is wrong with that? The cop told me that if they have been so dialed back from all the different situations that they have something as crazy as a stolen car. If they pull you over in a stolen car, all they can do is give you a ticket and hope you show up in court. And they wonder why people doing what they're doing. Cops are pretty much, you know, they're pretty much handcuffed.
Damn, that is
legally
crazy. That's crazy. You know, another thing that I noticed by just reading a few articles, and Chicago especially, but police in major cities are quitting the force at record numbers. Some major cities are noticing upward of 200 police officers quitting per month. I mean, that's 1,200 a year. Meanwhile, crime is increasing to levels we haven't seen in a long time. What are your thoughts on more police quitting the force at record numbers, and how do you think that will affect crime in the future? I believe being a police officer is a respectable job. I respect police, but I wouldn't want my son or anyone I cared about to be a police officer. I know that sounds crazy. It is a respectable job. It is a job that has good benefits. But dude, cops are enemy number one right now, and they can't do their job. And that's why many of them are leaving the force. New York City, NYPD are losing 200 police officers a month. Listen to that. New York City is losing 200 police officers a month because their hands are tied. The morale is down. The city officials don't respect them. The city officials don't support them. What do you think is going to happen when no more police are around? Think about it.
You know, when I do two things that gets me involved with the police a lot. I run a newspaper, and I'm also on the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. I go to a lot of community meetings, talk to a lot of sheriffs, a lot of police departments, and the LAPD is like 1,200 short on their staffing roster for us.
1,200 short.
LAPD is like 1,000 short.
1,000 short.
It's.
If you call the cops now in LA, you're lucky if they even show up. You know how much crime and crap they're dealing with on a daily basis? Gone are the days where they can come save your cat out of a tree. Gone are the days where they even care if someone breaks into your house. Did they take your life? No. All right, we'll be there when we get there. That's why it is so important for people out there to be able to protect their homes legally. Legally, protect your home. teach your family how to protect themselves if someone busts in their door, because it's happening more and more. And these criminals know that they'll be out by Monday. So what's the worry?
It's just that they've been, again, the frustration and the responsibility and the hatred. You know, you got a job that most people hate you for having. But they're the first one, you're the first one they call when something go wrong.
F the police. Oh, until I need them. Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of you bozos and ding-dongs out there do. F the police. Oh, but if somebody breaks into my hoopty and steals my radio, then yep, I need, let me call 911, get them down here. Now it's I love the police. Man, y'all ain't shit.
Okay, when your house get broke into, you don't call the homies, you call the police. But when the police need some help, nobody want to help them.
Yep.
So then the people want you to do something, they won't help you get done what needs to be done. And it's really ridiculous. I mean, I wrote about this the other day in my paper about this guy in Compton that got shot. You know, everybody knows, most people know who did it, because allegedly the guy left and came back. Oh, he had on a hoodie, but he left and came back. He wasn't had a hoodie on in the first place, but they know who did it. But then, you know, people ain't saying nothing. So you give the criminals protection. Meanwhile, you want you want the police to find justice. That's real hard, man. That's like going to your car, go to your doctor and say, doctor, I don't feel good. What's wrong with you? You can figure it out for yourself. I don't feel good. Well, how the fuck I'm supposed to help you? You don't tell me what's going on. So it's really a catch-22 situation, man. There's a lot of frustration. You know, it's a good payday. It's a good payday, but now folks are shooting back at police. They don't give a damn like they used to. Used to be, cops had a lot more respect.
Man, cops have no respect nowadays, and that's why they're leaving the force. Cops are being attacked every day in my city. Not every day, but quite often. I'm turning on the news and I'm seeing ding-dongs jump on top of cop cars or assault a police officer. I'm seeing it way more than I've ever seen it in my life.
Cops had a lot more respect back then. They don't have the respect they do. And then they do, folks just can't wait to sue them. Can't wait to sue them. Then you got the dirty cops that make the bad cops look bad. Then make the good cops look bad. And it just you know, it can be very frustrating. Very frustrating.
You've been around for, 7 decades. And have you ever seen where cities don't have enough police? This is something new to me. I'm only 46 though, so I don't know. I don't remember this. Was it like this in the 90s? Was it ever like this in the 70s where, it seemed like police were outnumbered technically?
No, it was never. I've never seen this before in my life. I think the police department tried to make it better by dropping the height and weight limit on cops, especially in LA. It used to be a time you had to be at least like 5'9", 160 pounds, 170 pounds to be an LA sheriff or LAPD. They dropped that down to make it more attractive to women. And a lot of guys got frustrated because, if you get into a tussle with some full-size men, no disrespect to women, but you got a woman, she might, the only thing you can do is shoot them.
Yep.
In most cases. They try to train them, but weight is weight, dude. They don't put heavyweights against lightweights in the real world. In the real world, a heavyweight got a much better chance with a lightweight than the lightweight does winning that fight. Now, you can have a lot of training, but just the simple fact that there is a weight difference can make training be obsolete.
Yep.
Or you find yourself having to come to the rescue because they can't handle what they have. They get scared and training go out the window. Sometimes you can be trained perfectly. Man, it was by me in baseball. And I was a kid playing baseball. In practice, dude, I was an awesome cat. In the game, I'd freeze every damn time. So same thing here. Okay, they could be all the training in the world, get in a real life situation, and then sometimes your mind will draw a blank, dude.
Yeah.
And now you need assistance. You a liability as opposed to an asset. Not saying that's always the case, but I've heard it happens quite a bit.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I also wanted to mention about that video that we listened to of the news story in Chicago, there was an older gentleman who he was on Facebook Live when shots rang out. What he was doing, Lonzo, was he was camping out on a corner of his community that he's lived in for years, where drugs are openly being sold in public. It's an open market, drug market, and he is going live to bring awareness to the situation, you know, that he believes is ruining his city. Is it going to take more people like this gentleman who is literally risking his life to bring awareness to a problem that a lot of city officials seem to be turning a blind eye to?
Yeah. Most city officials, not all, a lot of city officials don't live in the areas that they serve.
Booyah! Yep. Oh, a lot of people here in California who run some of the most poorest areas in Los Angeles alone. They don't live here in Los Angeles. They live in Orange County. They live in Ventura County. They live 20, 30 miles away. They live in the Inland Empire. They don't live in the cities that they run or the districts that they run. Their districts are crap. There's human feces everywhere and homelessness and graffiti and gangs and things like that. But the city officials, they live 20, 25 miles away. They don't care about that. What should happen, what should be a requirement is you should have to live in the district that you run. If you are assemblyman, council person, whatever you are, you must, to make it fair, you got to live in the area that you run. I think you'd care a little bit more if you had to step over human feces every 11 feet. You might care a little bit more about your district, but you ain't going to care about your district if you're working from 9 to 5 and then you're driving home to your big, beautiful 2-story house 25 miles outside of Los Angeles. Let's keep it real. These city officials are a joke for the most part. Yep.
They may have an address there. They might not live there. And they don't see the impact. They hear about it. They don't see it. When you live there and you see it, it makes you have a different perspective and a different motivation to get things done properly. And that's what you have to have in most cases. A lot of times, man, you don't see no men in the community, dude. And if you do, you don't see no positive men, dude. I mean, we in an era now, man, where you got cats as old as me still talking about that shit.
Exactly.
You got cats as old as me still, you know. They may not be active, but that's a part of their vocabulary. That's a part of their repertoire, dude. You know, being part of the hood. They may not.
Unfortunately, the hood doesn't have too many good men or father figures. I mean, I drive through the hood and I see a bunch of women, you know, with their kids. I see a bunch of women walking there, and no dig on the we. I'm just saying it is what it is. I see a lot of, I don't see men walking with their kids. I don't see men and women, their mother and father walking with their kids. I rarely see that. It's always a woman and her kids walking down the street. Am I the only one that sees that?
Not be out there, you know, putting in work per se, but they still represent. Instead of guiding these cats away from it, they kind of enforcing this shit, you know, or endorsing, you know, the activity. Mm-hmm. That's real talk, Doc. Yeah. I think I told you. I might have said it before, but tell you again. I was on a podcast with another brother out of Chicago, in fact, and he was telling me these guys he was 60-something years old, talked about how he. As a manager, he only managed vice lords or one side of the gang, disciples. I said, well, man, because he only dealt with disciples because he can sell 100,000 units because there's 100,000 disciples. Well, it's 100,000 vice lords looking to kill his ass too.
Message.
So how this pretty supposed to work out for anybody? How's anybody supposed to benefit? You got 100,000. Supporters, but you got 100,000 haters at the same time. How are you supposed to get anything done, man?
It's a messed up way of thinking.
It's a mentality that a lot of guys have. And this is the problem we have in society. A lot in society as a whole. You got grown people want to be friends with the kids. We're not their friends. We're supposed to be here to guide them, but a lot of grown folks want to be considered cool and want to be
wearing the same clothes as these kids, dressing all goofy, 45, 46, 48, baggy jeans, hanging below your butt. Man, stop trying to appeal to these kids, dude, and be a goddamn role model.
Want to be friendly with them and act like they're their buddies. No, man, that ain't how it's supposed to go now.
In sparkly jackets and shit. Like, if you are 48 and you're wearing a sparkly jacket like a 19-year-old, man, go jump off a bridge, bro.
I'm cool with those that are cool, but if I see you do something stupid as a grown-ass man, I gotta speak on it. I got to speak on it. If not, I'm not doing you an injustice, and I'm not doing my my experience any justice.
Yep,
that's real talk.
Yeah, you know, that reminds me of a question, and I do have some questions saved up from some of our audience to hopefully make everyone listening right now feel like it's actually. So I'm gonna stop it right there. Please subscribe to NWA Stories with Lonzo on YouTube if you would like to hear the full conversation, or if you would like to check out some of our interviews and our content over there at NWA Stories with Lonzo. We're knocking it out the park over there, man. Interviewing some dope people. We're a hip-hop based channel, but we do cover the reality. We do cover the BS that goes on in our hood, because we are trying to make a change, man. We are definitely trying to make a change, and it's going to take elders like myself, like my mentor, Alonzo Williams, to change things. Because you know what? City officials don't care. The police can't do their job. So it's going to take us to step up and do things to make this country, to make our cities better. It's just, it is what it is. So I'll keep doing more content like this. Please hit that subscribe button over at NWA Stories with Alonzo. We go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, I'm going to ask you to hit that like button right here on this video. If you don't mind, just go ahead and smash that like button for your boy really quick. I just need your help doing that. It helps out the algorithm. It helps me. It helps us. And it helps get my word out there. So please, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And hit that subscribe button to my channel right here if you are not subscribed and you like what you hear. Or if you don't like what you hear, whatever the case is, hit that subscribe button if you were entertained. Let's just say that. Please follow my second channel. Subscribe to my second channel right here on YouTube. It's Dusty Vision Radio. Dusty Vision Radio right here on YouTube. I do appreciate you guys subscribing to my second channel. I'm also on Rumble, the Rumble app. You guys been hearing a lot about Rumble lately, right? Rumble, R-U-M-B-L-E. It's an app. Download it onto your phone, and you can get the uncensored versions of some of your favorite podcasts, including mine. I've been on Rumble for about a year now. I am putting different content over there than I have here on this channel. So please subscribe to Dusty Vision TV on Rumble. All one word, Dusty Vision TV. I'm also on Instagram, and I am on Facebook, Dusty Vision TV. I do appreciate your support. I'll talk to you soon. Be safe out there.